Shadows, number 74, VTR 92966, air 10666. Take one.
My name is Victoria Winters. Collinwood stands alone on a hill above the town founded by the same family that built this great mansion. But undercurrents are there. Undercurrents that stem from the anger of one man.
Hello, Burke.
David, what are you doing here? The devil are you doing here?
I came to see you.
Well, don't you knock on the door or call up on the house phone? How many more of you are in there?
Just me. I called on the house phone, but you weren't in.
So you decided to come up and wait, huh?
Are you mad?
A little bit. Not too much, but a little bit, okay?
I'm sorry. I thought you'd be glad to see me.
Hey, I am. I am. It's good to see an old friend on a day like today. Now tell me, how'd you do it? How'd you get in?
It was easy.
Yeah? Well, tell me about it. Next person who sneaks in here might be a deadly enemy.
Like my father, you mean?
Come on, tell me what your secret is.
Remember the last time I tried to come in? The maid was cleaning and she saw me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this time, I waited until she was through cleaning in that room, went into the bedroom to clean. I ran in, and that's all.
The front door was open?
It's always open when the maid's cleaning.
Hey, had the place really cased, huh?
Pretty cool, wasn't it?
It's also against the law.
No, it wasn't. Nothing's against the law unless you get caught.
Who told you that?
You did.
I think I better get us both a cool drink. Coming up, baby. Nice and cool.
Burke Devlin special, right?
Hey, you remember.
A lot of different fruit juices all mixed together. It's good.
Yeah, well, it's a little better than that moral philosophy you say I taught you.
That what?
Davy, I can't imagine myself ever telling you that it was all right to do anything you wanted to as long as you could get away with it.
That's what you said.
Well, I was wrong.
Burke, did you ever kill anybody?
Huh?
I want to know, did you ever kill anybody?
Well, not that I remember. Why?
I knew you didn't. That's what I told my Aunt Elizabeth.
You lost me.
That's what I came here for. To tell you that I knew you didn't kill Mr. Malloy.
Who says I did?
Well, Aunt Elizabeth doesn't come right out and say it. She doesn't even say he was murdered.
But she's thinking it. Is that what you mean?
Oh, she says that he fell off a cliff and drowned. But she's really thinking he was murdered.
In her mind, you mean?
Well, I know you didn't kill anybody anyway.
How do you know that, Davy?
You didn't.
You're right. And faith like that deserves a refill, huh?
You couldn't have done it. Because my father did. My father killed Mr. Malloy.
Liz? Liz! I couldn't believe it, Liz. You'll have to excuse me, but right after you phoned, I had to rush right home.
It is good news, isn't it?
Good news! The coroner's decision is the most wonderful news I've heard in years. Accidental death due to drowning. I think I'll have it cast in bronze. Have you told anyone else about it?
No, the sheriff just left a half an hour ago.
Oh, I suppose it's all over Collinsport by now. Oh, I would like to see the faces of one or two people. You know, it was generally believed to be homicide, you know.
Well, I doubt very much if it's generally known yet, Roger. The sheriff said it might be hours before the facts findings were made public.
Well, for you and me, it's all over. All the questions and suspicions can be laid to rest. And at last, poor Bill Malloy can rest in peace. Oh, tell me, Liz, now that it's over, you were worried for me, weren't you?
Should I have been?
Yeah, you harbored a teeny suspicion that I had something to do with Bill Malloy's death. That's the truth, isn't it?
Well, there's no point in talking about it now, Roger. As you say, it's over.
Yes, amen, it's over. And now life can pursue its normal course. Would you join me in a drink, Liz?
I don't think so, thank you.
Oh, but this is a special occasion. Come on, Liz.
Roger, a moment ago you asked me if I thought you were involved in Bill's death. Well, yes, it did cross my mind.
Well, then you should be delighted to have been proved wrong.
I'm delighted that neither of us have to face that problem any longer, yes.
All right, then, let's toast to it. To the perception and judgment of the coroner. Long may he hold his office. You're not drinking, Liz.
I'm beginning to wonder if I have as much to celebrate as you have.
Well, I can imagine that's true. After all, the sheriff wasn't pressing down with you with all those questions.
An innocent man needn't be afraid of questions.
Oh, now, for heaven's sakes, Liz, this is a happy day. Don't spoil it with soul-searching. Come on, drink up, please.
David, I forgot all about him.
Oh, well, that should make you happy in itself.
No, I'm serious, Roger. I'm worried about him.
You seem determined to spoil my good mood.
Well, we had an argument, and I sent him to his room. Then he ran out of the house just before the sheriff arrived.
You know, that's exactly what I think I'll do. A good turn on the cliff. That's exactly what this day requires. I'll see you in a while.
But what about David? He hasn't come back yet.
I leave the problem of my wandering son to you, my dear sister.
He was talking about Burke Devlin.
I leave that problem also to you. Today, on this glorious day of days, neither David nor Burke exist for me.
I knew it was my father the very day that Mr. Malloy disappeared.
How did you know that, Dave?
If I tell you, you'll make fun of me.
Have I ever made fun of you before?
No.
Well, then tell me. Why do you think your father killed Bill Malloy?
They told me.
Who?
The voices. It's true, Bert. They come into my room at night and they talk to me. They told me my father did it.
I see.
I knew you wouldn't believe me. I even see it in the crystal ball.
You're pretty lonely up in that big old house, aren't you, Davy?
They talk to me all the time.
I'm sure they do, Dave.
And you believe me? I mean about my father.
Well, let me put it this way, Davy. If I thought you were right, well, it'd be a terrible thing for me to say to you.
'Cause he's my father? Well, I don't care. Gee, Burke, I wish you could come up and live with me at Collinwood. We could have such fun together.
Yeah, well, I don't think your Aunt Elizabeth would care for that very much, huh?
Well, maybe after this Malloy thing is cleared up, she'll change her mind.
I don't think so. Davy, look. Do you know what a coroner is?
No.
Well, he's a man who's going to make a big decision today. And when he does, your Aunt Elizabeth and your father, especially your father, well, they're not going to be very happy about it at all.
He's the man that's going to say Mr. Malloy was murdered and somebody has to go to jail for it.
That's the man. And that's exactly what he's going to say.
Does that mean you can never come and live at Collinwood?
Oh, now, I wouldn't say that. I might surprise you and your aunt one of these days.
You mean it?
You bet I mean it. Hey, now, you grab those glasses and go in the kitchen and fix us up another concoction. I'll get rid of whoever it is that wants to bother us. Well, speak of angels, and they appear.
I want to talk to you, Burke.
Well, I'm in the middle of a very important meeting, but come on in anyway.
I thought you said you were in the middle of a meeting.
Oh, I am.
Well, where is she? In the bedroom?
Carolyn Stoddard, you are a girl with a suspicious and a salacious mind.
Well, if you must know, I really couldn't care less.
Well, good. Then we can relax together. Why don't you sit down?
Of course, Vicky Winters might be a little upset by it.
Oh, I see. You're worried about Vicky Winters' interests. Well, I'm glad to see she has such a good friend in you, Carolyn.
My cousin's governess is no friend of mine, Burke. However, she's obviously very close to you.
Oh, I see. You found out that I drove her home this afternoon. Is that it?
Maybe. Anyway, she'll be very happy to know about your little meeting.
Oh, I'm glad you reminded me. Honey, you can bring the drinks in now. My friend's a little shy.
I'll bet.
Drink, Burke.
Thank you.
What is she doing here?
What are you doing here?
Came to see my friend.
David, does my mother know you came up here? You know how she feels about Mr. Devlin. You know she wouldn't want you to visit him.
Then what are you doing here?
Very good, Davy. Your turn.
Oh.
Here, Carolyn. Here, why don't you drink this? It's very
This
good.
is completely ridiculous, my standing here arguing with a 9-year-old boy.
I agree.
You're as bad as he is. You're enjoying it.
Well, you must admit it is pretty funny, huh?
Suppose.
Hey, you win first prize for the smile contest. Now, what is it you want to talk to me about?
David, would you like to go to the kitchen and fix Burke a drink?
I want to stay right here and listen.
Can't you do something?
Oh, let's face it, he was here first. Besides, I think David would be interested in anything you have to say about Vicky Winters. Wouldn't you, Davy?
Why do you want to talk to Burke about Miss Winters?
Why must you be so nosy?
She's jealous, that's what.
I am not. And I didn't come here to talk about her.
Oh?
That's right. I came here to tell you about Mrs. Johnson.
Who's she?
I had a talk with Mother about her, and I think she's going to hire her.
Who is Mrs. Johnson?
She was Mr. Malloy's housekeeper, and Burke and I were talking about her coming to Collinwood to work. Now, do you have any more questions?
Burke, do you think she should work there?
Oh, no, it's all Carolyn's idea, huh?
I know I won't like her.
That's my sweet David.
Okay, David, into the kitchen with you. Give me 3 minutes alone with your cousin, huh?
Do I have to?
No, but I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Now, why should it bother you so much that I drove Vicky Winters home?
Who said it does?
You. Oh, not in so many words, but that's why you're here, isn't it?
Do you always flatter yourself that much?
Let me tell you something, Carolyn. I don't feel that I have to account to you for my actions. To you, to Vicky, or to anyone.
I hate you.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. And I'm glad I gave you back your gift now.
What gift?
You don't even remember.
Oh, the pen.
Yes. The fountain pen you gave me the day we had lunch together in Bangor. You talked a little differently that day.
I meant every word I said.
Did you? Well, tell me, Burke, just what did you say?
I don't remember.
My Uncle Roger was right. He told me I shouldn't accept presents from you, and he was absolutely right. I only hope the next girl you give that fountain pen to isn't as naive as I was.
Now, that's the second time you've mentioned that pen.
And the last. I hope you get ink all over yourself when you use it.
But I don't have it.
Oh, come on, Burke. My uncle gave it back to you, and you know it.
Well, all I know is that I don't have it.
He said he was going to give it to you.
Hey, maybe Uncle Roger kept it for himself.
Burke, I'm serious. It was the night Mr. Malloy died. Uncle Roger took the pen from me, and he said he was going to make sure it got back to you.
I think he had something else on his mind that night.
Are you sure he didn't give it to you?
Absolutely positive. Oh, no, wait. Now, wait a minute. Yes, now I remember. At the meeting at Uncle Roger's office, he did mention something about a pen.
You see?
But he never gave it to me, Carolyn. He said he didn't have it with him.
Are you sure?
Time's up.
Burke, he couldn't have lost it. It was so expensive.
What was?
Nothing important, Dave.
It's important to me.
What is?
David, can't you ever mind your own business? Is there a phone there?
Well, yes, but if you're going to call your Uncle Roger, don't bother. I couldn't care
I'll
less.
be right back.
Didn't I tell you she was a big pest?
Well, I don't know which one of you takes the cake, you or her.
She's older.
And she's a girl, right?
Right. What's she so mad about? Did my father lose something of hers?
Well, whatever your father lost, I can replace.
But she said it was real expensive.
With money, you can buy anything.
That's the most wonderful news.
What is it? The pen been returned?
It's about Mr. Malloy. It's all over. The whole mess is over.
What do you mean?
Well, I just spoke to Mother. The sheriff came up there earlier today, and he told her. The coroner's decision was accidental death due to drowning.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Get David out of here. Take him home.
There won't be any more suspicions, Bert. Aren't you?
I told you to get him out of here. Now do it.
I think we better go, David. Hello, Mother. Is Uncle Roger around?
No, he went out for a walk.
Isn't it great news? I'm so relieved.
We're all pleased. But I'm not pleased with your behavior this afternoon, young man.
I just went to see a friend.
Against my wishes, I specifically told you not to leave this house, and particularly not to see Burke Devlin.
Mother, this is no day to bawl anybody out, even David.
I don't like his choice of companions.
Well, tell him about it tomorrow. Right now we can all sit down and relax. There won't be any more questions or suspicions. The whole mess is over and done with.
You sound like Uncle Roger.
I'll bet he is walking on air.
Yes, he is happy.
Oh, why shouldn't he be? Mother, this is a great day for everybody.
Except for Burke. Carolyn, why don't you tell Aunt Elizabeth the way Burke acted when he heard the news?
Now, calm down, Burke. Just calm down.
I'll calm down when you explain to me by what unbalanced reasoning the coroner arrived at his decision.
It was a decision based on the facts.
What facts? The fact that Malloy was murdered? Or the fact that the Collins family still runs this town?
Oh, you've tried that line on me before, Burke, and I don't like it.
Well, let me tell you something, Sheriff. I don't care that much what you like or don't like.
Well, you better start caring.
Look, I was railroaded out of this town 10 years ago. It was Collins' money and Collins' power that did it then.
They had nothing to do with the coroner's decision.
Don't try to sell me that. Bill Malloy was murdered.
Look, if you have evidence that I haven't heard, I'd be happy to listen to you, Burke.
For what? So you can put it away in the dead file with the rest of the case?
I think you better get out of here, Burke.
What gets me is how stupid I was to think for even 5 minutes that it wouldn't end this way.
All right, I'm going to tell you once more, Burke. I gave a complete report of my investigation to the coroner. I went in and I answered his questions. And then he alone came to the conclusion that Malloy was not murdered. There was no influence, no pressure, a simple study of the facts.
Including the interesting observation that the family that hires the most people in this town, pays the most taxes, controls the most votes, was taken completely off the hook.
Burke, I've got a lot of work to do, so I think you better get out of here.
You think it's buried, don't you, Sheriff? You think this business is buried in the ground with a dead man who died accidentally by drowning? Well, let me tell you something. You're wrong. It's out in the clear, still out in the clear.
Burke, I think it might be a very good idea if you just packed your bags and went back to New York.
I don't think so. And if you have any idea of running me out of town, remember, I can afford lawyers now that'll chew you up into little pieces.
Can't you just leave that family alone?
No. I've been wearing gloves up till now, but I'm taking them off. And I don't care who knows it. You or them.
Aunt Clara adds a unique touch to her babysitting chores. She conjures up an extra child. Enjoy Bewitched tonight at 9, 8 o'clock Central Time, followed by the comedy capers of Marlo Thomas as That Girl on ABC. Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production. Dark Shadows, number